80 homes flooded and 39 roads closed. Students evacuated by blackhoe from Rapid Bay Primary School. Waterfall Gull underwater. Release of Trump's health records backfires. The adorable baby panda. The crow's fanatic with 65 jumpers. Police hold grave fears for an 84-year-old man whose ute was swept into a dam by floodwaters in Wallacedale. Police divers scoured the dam and nearby areas on Thursday after the ute was found submerged on Wednesday afternoon. They believe the farmer was not in the car at the time and their search will continue on Friday. Meanwhile, the Avoca River in Charlton is expected to peak near 7.5 meters on Friday morning, just short of the 7.9 meters peak at the town during the September 2010 flood. About 6 p.m. on Thursday, the river had reached 7.13 meters and was still rising. 10 homes could be flooded by the Avoca River flood. Emergency Management Commissioner Craig Lapsley said on Thursday. At least 10 Victorian homes were expected to be flooded on Thursday night, the state's Emergency Services Commissioner said, as the water level continues to rise. While rain eased, Craig Lapsley said barely a patch of Victoria was untouched by the drenching the state has received over the past few days. River, creek and water catchments are swollen to capacity and with more rain forecast next week. Emergency services are preparing for potential disaster. This is not going away, he said. We are calling this the floods of September 2016. We are expecting it to be a significant event. Despite the easing of the torrential rain, floodwaters continue to rise. The state is saturated. We're now seeing most of our rivers in some sort of flood, he said. Mr. Lapsley said with water at current levels, there were concerns with what impact more rain would have. Next week's weather is concerning. If we get 20 millimeters when we have reservoirs full, dams full and rivers full, that's a concern, he said. That's our next problem to face. We are trying to get a good understanding of the weather and the change in the weather pattern that has potential to bring rain with it. Mr. Lapsley said 188 roads remained closed across the state, including the Great Ocean Road, which is cut in two sections either side of Lorne. Footage between Lorne and Apollo Bay. A video posted by Hodgeka at Hodgeka on September 13, 2016 at 5:04 p.m. PD, in one of the worst-hit areas, the central west town of Charlton. Flooding in the Avoca River is expected to peak at 7.5 meters about 8 a.m. Friday morning. Mr. Lapsley said that meant it was likely at least 10 homes in the town would go underwater, adding to the 80 that have been flooded in South Australia. An elderly farmer whose ute was found submerged by floodwaters in Macarthur in the state's west also remains missing. South Australia and Victoria have borne the brunt of torrential rainfalls over the past few days. 80 homes have been flooded and 39 roads remain closed after torrential rain and gale force winds battered the Adelaide Hills, causing millions of dollars in damage. But Weather Zone meteorologist Ben Domenzino told news.com.au more rain was certainly on the way. He said the next systems were a cause for concern. A cold front moving across the Bight will hit Western Victoria on Saturday, he said, while modelling predicts up to 10 millimeters to 20 millimeters of rain. Mr. Domenzino said this would be enough to cause widespread flooding. A prediction of 20 millimeters of rain doesn't sound like much. But the concern is these two systems will add to the waterlogged conditions, he said. While this is good news for soil moisture levels, it certainly has the potential to be dangerous in the short term due to catchments being so full. Road closures through Skipton as floodwaters peak. Tonight on @WinNews_Bal #WinNews 6 p.m. pic. Twitter.com /RMHGXIW69. In South Australia, Residents began the cleanup on Thursday as authorities warned that more rain was on the way. River levels across the Mount Lofty ranges had peaked, reducing any immediate risk of further flooding, but could be swelled by falls forecast for Saturday and next week. Some centres in the Adelaide Hills, on the Fleurieu Peninsula and on Kangaroo Island had their wettest September day on record on Wednesday, copping more than 100 millimetres. That led to flooding across a wide area, with the towns of Aldgate, Bridgewater and Handorf and Adelaide's eastern suburbs the hardest hit. In Victoria, 19 flood warnings are in place for rivers and creek across the state, while South Australia has 3. Kim.Stephens at news.com.au